Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here from HolsingersFlyShop.com. Bringing another fly time video today. This is one that I've been working on here for a little bit and fishing, and I like it. I like how it's producing, and we're going to, for lack of a better name, I'm going to call it the Iridescent Jig Nymph. Because I use iridescent blue and green. I do it in a green color too, or olive, but it looks like a peacock. And I use the Perdigon Body from Semperfli as the underbody, and it gives it that iridescent look, along with the Prism. Also has like an iridescent look to it. So that's what we're going to call it, the Iridescent Jig Nymph. So enough of me rambling on here. It's pretty easy fly to tie, so let's get into tying it here. You're going to see the fly in the vise, and then the material is to tie it. Alright, here you see the fly in the vise, very cool looking fly, and let's get into tying it. So for a hook, I'm using a Holsinger's Fly Shop Jig Hook. This one's a size 12 with a 3.8 millimeter bead. This is copper bead, and for thread, I am just using some brown Nano silk 12 watt. And I want to say a couple things here as I get the bead put into place. The hook and the bead on these flies that I tie, most of the time, especially like this one, this was just for reference. You know, don't think I only tie this in 12. I tie it in 16s, 14s. You know, this would easily be tied in an 18 if you want to, especially with the smaller material. And fit your bead accordingly to it. So this one, I just want a heavy one to get me down. So I'm going with the 3.8 millimeter bead on the size 12 hook, and that's just what I wanted on this one. So that's what I'm tying. Plus it looks a little better on video, tying it a little bigger size. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tail on this. For the tail, I'm going to use about 5 or 6 strands of Coq Le Leon. Use whatever you like to use for tailing material. I just like to use Coq Le Leon, and I got a long time ago, I got a medium Pardo saddle, and I have a ton of it, you know. So that's why I always use medium Pardo. Don't think that you have to use medium Pardo. You can use any color there. So I want that to be about the length of the body, and then we're going to trim the tag off. Next thing I'm going to put on is some Midge vinyl rib, and I'm going to put this with the flat side up, and I can pop that in the bead slot there, tie that down, and we're just going to wrap this back to the bend, right back to where we stopped for the tail, and then I'm just going to slide this out of the way and hang it out of the way for a second. Okay, now what I like to do, what's a little easier for me, is just to tie this off quick and get my bobbin out of the way for this next step. The next step, I'm going to use some Perdigon Body material from Semperfli. I'm just going to start it on back by the tail. Oops, failed twice now. There we go. Start it on a couple of wraps, wrap it back to the bend of the tail, and then wrap it forward. Just making nice side-by-side wraps. And what we're doing is we're adding that iridescent blue color to the body here. I'm just going to wrap it right up to the bead and stop. And I'm going to come back in with my brown thread. Or you could switch off if you wanted to do a hot spot. You could switch off to a pink or something here. Pink or an orange. But I'm just going to use brown. And I'm going to cut both of those tags off there. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap forward with my Midge D-rib. And this is going to give me a nice segmented body look to it. You could do the medium D-rib if you want. It would look great, especially on this size 12. Sorry about that. But the Midge will work great if you're tying like 16s, Even 14s will look great. It just adds a lot of extra segmentation to this 12, and I like it, so that's what I'm going with here. So we're just going to wrap that right up there to the bead. Make a couple wraps, tie it off, get them nice and tight beside each other. Just do a nice job of making it nice and clean looking. Cut that off. Last thing I'm going to do is come in with a little bit of brown olive Prism, if I can get it out of the box. I like Prism dubbing. If I want flashy, I usually use Prism. And just going to use a little bit of brown olive, not much. Make a nice clean collar on here. Slide it right up there. Don't go overboard on this. And then a couple wraps right behind the bead, and we're going to tie it off. And that is all that's to this simple little fly. Nice Euro style fly, thin body, heavy, gonna get you down. That's what you're looking for. Alright guys, hope you like that fly. It's pretty easy. It does take a little bit, you know, a beginner's gonna struggle, maybe just a little bit, but not much. You'll get onto it with a little bit of practice. And have fun tying, guys. That's what it's all about. Like I said in the video, whenever I tie a video, for instance, I tied this in a size 12 with a big 3.8 bead on it. I want that to get down. But I'm also going to tie this in a size 16 with a 2.8 bead on it, you know. Something smaller that I can use as a dropper or something like that. So, just because I tie it one size in a video doesn't mean that that's the only way you can fish it. That's one of the misconceptions a lot of new guys have when it comes to fly tying. You know, it has to have this material and this material or it's just not the fly. Well, that's not the case. Use what you have. You know, use what will work for you. You might not have the iridescent or the Perdigon Body, but you have some crystal flash that will work. Or some Flashabou. You know, substitute some Flashabou for it. And just mess around and have fun. That's what fly tying is all about. Catching fish on flies that you tied. And having fun doing it. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, you know, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thanks for watching, guys. I really enjoy bringing these to you. And we're all very thankful at the shop for the way that you continue to support us at the shop and everything. And especially this Christmas season. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Until next week when I bring you another video, I'm Sean Holsinger.